Good morning, beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. As you know, the Vanguard Alpha with Champion Hill has ended, and I haven't played it one bit. Honestly, I've done this in the past where I drag out my PlayStation 4 and I try to hook up my keyboard and mouse to it, and I try to experience it as best as I can, and just my experience with the PlayStation 4 or whatever PlayStation 5, like it's always a shadow of what my normal experience is on my PC. So I'm just gonna wait till the PC version comes out for me to actually play any sort of beta with Vanguard. That being said, I have been watching a good amount of videos and I have some stuff to say, so let's get started. A lot of people are saying that because this is on the Modern Warfare engine, Modern Warfare 2019, that this is just World War II's version of Modern Warfare 2019, and a lot of gameplay elements tend to favor that mindset as well. With the whole leaning, blind firing, doors, destructible cover, all of that stuff really feels like it fits right in hand with Modern Warfare 2019. Now, this may come to a surprise to some of you, but I actually really liked leaning and mounting on in Modern Warfare 2019. I really liked how it felt. It felt tactical. Yes, it kind of got rid of recoil and made a lot of guns, easier to use, but it was kind of nice. It was a nice little feature. And I was never killed by someone leaning and thought, oh man, that's an unfair gunfight. Like that never happened to me. Blind firing, I don't know, it looks kind of okay. It looks like it's almost super powerful from the third person perspective, but also since it's just hip fire, it's not going to be that powerful. So I don't think we're going to hear that much about blind firing. In terms of doors and destructible cover, one of the biggest things I think people are saying is that it's way too easy to get shot through cover here, especially with the incendiary rounds and all that stuff. And I definitely think that's going to annoy me too once I get my hands on it. But in terms of doors, everyone's saying that Modern Warfare 2019 was so set back because of doors. Like doors were just the worst. They, promoted camping and all that stuff. And honestly, 99% of my interactions with doors is sprinting through them for the first minute of the game, opening up all the doors, and that's it. That's 99% of my interactions with doors. Of course, there's that one time where someone's camping and they close the door and they set a claim, but that's the exception, not the rule. Now, that being said, because 99% of my interactions with doors have just been opening them and that's it, they're still not being used for what the developers are intending for them to be used. So I get why I wouldn't really put them in the game again, because I don't find them interesting. But I don't find them interesting. I don't find them annoying. I don't find them overpowered. I don't find them to slow down the pace of the game. They're just kind of there for me. So those things really not game breaking for me. Now, the two things that really surprised me about this is the minimap and dead silence, because man, I'm getting flashbacks to 2 years ago where everyone was in unanimous agreement. Even me, everybody said minimap, dead silence, those are the two biggest problems with Modern Warfare 2019. And it is so surprising that they're returning in Vanguard in this way. I'm very curious the kind of game developer mentality and the justification behind having these two changes. Okay, this is going to be really controversial, but I think Modern Warfare 2019 is the best Call of Duty product that has ever been created. I think the engine is so good. I think, with some games, I guess Cold War is a good example. It feels kind of thrown together. It feels like good enough to call a good game, or good enough to be like, yeah, that's an interesting take on Call of Duty. But Modern Warfare 2019 through and through felt like the developer's game. It felt like that was the game they set to create. You can go back to my older videos and when I was criticizing it a lot and saying like, hey, they need to change this, they need to change that. I openly said, hey, if this is the creator's intent, if this is the design intent in terms of minimap and dead silence, if they are not willing to budge on this, cool, more power to them. That's the game they want to make. And I think with those two changes, if you change those two things, I think Modern Warfare 2019 is one of the best Call of Duties ever made. But with those two things, it really just ruined the pace of the game, as well as the maps. And this is something I think Sledgehammer does fairly well. I really didn't not like the maps of World War II. I thought they were pretty decent. I thought they were small enough to fit that fast-paced Call of Duty style, but not so... Not like Slums. Slums is just the worst Call of Duty map, and I hate everything about it. It's so limiting. It's so narrow. There's no room for creativity or player intelligence. It's just strict gunfight, 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 and that's just so boring and unengaging to me. And I think Sledgehammer has a good balance between that small, fast-paced action and a little bit of complexity that makes maps interesting, at least for me. Unfortunately, there's not been a lot of good talking about Vanguard. I mean, overall, when we look at the Gunsmith, which I'm glad is returning, 10 different weapon attachments, that's a lot. Like 5 attachments was a lot back in Modern Warfare 2019, but 10, and with World War II weapons, like with modern weapons, you could really be immersed and believe that, yeah, all of these attachments are real attachments. Like Modern Warfare 2019's Gunsmith is probably the best thing ever to be introduced into Call of Duty because of the detail, the finesse, and something that's really underrated that I'm going to make another video about is the perfect balance that it creates. A lot of times when you give players all of these options, they just pick the same, however many options is the best for them. But Modern Warfare 2019's Gunsmith really allowed you to build weapons different. It allows you to build different types of weapons from the same weapons. And I hope that's the case in Vanguard, because it certainly wasn't the case in Cold War. And that was kind of the downfall of Cold War's Gunsmith, if you ask me. But overall, the balance seems pretty bad if we're all talking to the incendiary rounds and people aren't impressed and all that stuff. But I love the guns of Call of Duty, so I'm really interested and excited to see what the Gunsmith has to offer. Something I can only speak about conceptually is Champion Hill. I really wasn't feeling this game mode when I first saw it, but after thinking about it, I kind of like this idea. We have Battle Royale, which is one life and you're dead. Obviously, you can respawn in some ways and in Warzone and all that, but we also have 6v6, which is just pure respawn. But this is kind of a mixture between the two. You still have a currency, you still have stake in the game. Your losses mean a lot more than they would in respawn modes. So I like the idea of Champion Hill. I don't know if I'm going to like the execution or the pacing or all that stuff, but I see exactly where they're coming from. I think they're trying to merge the people who like Battle Royale, because hey, it's almost like Fall Guys, where you have different rounds of competition where some people die off and they lose and they go off, and you have this one champion at the end of the longer match. And I really appreciate the innovation that went on with this, especially with the currency system and the buying rounds. It's a little bit, it's like Battle Royale light or streamlined, which I think is a brilliant idea. But just because I like it conceptually doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy playing it. I really like my 6v6. And finally, I just want to mention skill-based matchmaking. I've heard some people are finding it to be strong in Vanguard, and honestly, I kind of want to make a separate video talking about skill-based matchmaking, because if Call of Duty is so set on making skill-based matchmaking a thing, double down on it. And that sounds weird. I probably shouldn't open with that. Make players aware of what rank they are. Go the Halo 3 route. Go the Halo route where you maybe put an XP modifier with skill-based matchmaking. If you're in the upper echelon of skill ranks, make players earn XP faster the higher rank they are, or something to that effect. Players don't dislike skill-based matchmaking because they want to stomp on noobs. Players dislike skill-based matchmaking because they aren't rewarded for the skill that they possess. So if we're agreed that skill-based matchmaking has to be this strict in every Call of Duty, make it rewarding. Make players who are at that top tier skill have a bigger reward. I don't know. Let me know if you guys want me to explore that idea a little bit further. But anyway, that's all I have time for you guys today. Let me know your thoughts on Vanguard. Thank you all so much for watching. Check out these two videos if you haven't seen them. And until the next absolutely beautiful Call of Duty morning, I'll catch up with you guys later. And as always, stay beautiful.